since I've been building my empire up in the northeast for the last 6-7 years, especially when I came out of prison, a lot of people have been making similarities between me and my grandfather. I don't think I'm nowhere as successful as what he was at my age. I don't think I'm as hardworking as him, but to have that kind of, affirmation, it does make me feel quite confident in myself that maybe in some ways I am actually going in the right direction on the wrong one. But my mother still works in a factory. My grandmother had a few houses that my granddad left behind, and she just maintained them to just keep pay a few bills. And my dad, he spent more and more of his time in the pub, you know what I mean? So yeah, he never worked or anything like that. So yeah, my brother works hard. My brother's got a master's degree from Manchester University, and he's got a sales job in private healthcare, so he does well. Not really business orientated, but he's a worker bee, you know what I mean? So
the Sikhs love to drink.
Mate,
my friends, I've got Sikhs in Glasgow. Listen to the best guys ever. The stuff they do for the homeless, the work that they do, but the whiskey that they drink. I've went to a couple of weddings,
you know
back in the day, and I was fucked up.
Only recently, in the last few months, I've decided to shift my life into a whole completely new area. I've grown up in a town, I've grown up around men, I've grown up around people and found family members where you go and earn your money and you go to the pub every day and you have a drink, and at the weekend you get absolutely fucking spangled. And then when I drink, it's the other things I end up purchasing that are problematic for me. I've tried to keep away from it. I've had a few little slip-ups recently. I don't mind a couple of pints, but after that, I'm kind of done with it now. And the reason behind that being is, I'm married now, you know what I mean? Me and my wife are trying for children. I've seen what alcohol has done to like my father, to my grandfather in a way as well. It was kind of like alcohol that killed him. He had a bit of a family upset and he hit the bottle big time, and that's what kind of wiped him out. And so it kind of runs in our family a little bit, and I don't want to get caught up in that trap, especially since for the first time in my life, I actually truly believe I've got something that's really big that I'm building on, that's really true. It's truly worth fighting for and keeping hold of and trying to increase from a family legacy for the future, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to keep away from all that now. And so I'm trying. I've had a few mishaps, but
can do.
It happens.
See, when you had a few mishaps, is that because of the football was on?
No, I don't watch football.
Oh,
when everyone went to watch football, I was watching the tennis Wimbledon final.
Yeah, like I say, with the Sikhs, I love their beliefs. I love what they stand for.
Yeah.
They're helping people, even like you say, you've just brought gifts in and sweets. They used to always do that when they came to my mum's house back in the day. There was always gifts. There was always.
It's always. That's just embedded in me. I was nobody ever had to tell me this is the way you've got to act. You know what I mean? My mum and grandma always just put that in me from day one. If I go to somebody's house for the first time, I always take something with me. You know what I mean? Something for them to eat or some sort of gift. Or sometime I was actually going to bring you a bottle of whiskey, but then I remember that you're on the sober truck as well. I thought maybe that ain't a good idea.
May as well bring a half ounce of fucking coke. Mate. If you brought that, bro, I would tell that shit up, mate, if I was on the whiskey. I've not drank whiskey in fucking 8-9 years.
Usually I do take a bottle of whiskey or something. I don't even drink whiskey, you know what I mean? All I drink now, I like to have a couple of pints of Guinness, and that's it. Have a meal, then I go and get my head down. Because after I've started going through them couple of pints of Guinness, and I start hitting that top shelf, then them elbows are getting cold, and then it all just fucking goes tits up.
Everybody's the same with that.
I know, and then for 3-4 days, I'm absolutely wiped out.
Yeah.
I've got, with my career right now, with the business that I've built up in the Teesside County Durham, with renting the houses, I've got a lot of freedom because I've got agents that take care of everything. I am actually just about to invest in something new. The investment's literally just come through the other week, and so the money should be landing any day. So hopefully that's going to keep me a lot more busier. So I'm not going to think about, I sit at home, I've been to the gym, I've been to the spa, I've done the shopping, I've paid the bills. What do I do now? I go to the fucking pub. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's going to get me a little bit going again. And because that's on the way, that's another reason why I wanted to knock it all on the edge. You know what I mean? I thought I've got something real now. It's time to concentrate on it. It is difficult because I've had to stop associating with certain people. There's still a few people that I still roll with, and I do try to have look, mate, let's have 1-2 pints, let's have a steak and go home. And then that 90% of the time, that's what's been happening. But there's that 10% where it doesn't happen. Then next minute, bam, 2 days in, and fucking then you're regretting it for about a week while you're in bed poorly. It's ridiculous. But I'm trying. I'll get there.
That's all you can do. And try, like I say, even with my story as well, it's the same as 90% of fucking the male population.
It's happening
in the UK.
everywhere.
The booze and the gear, it comes hand in hand.
You know, before I went to prison in 2013, there weren't hardly anybody doing any gear. When I come out in 2017, I was like, what the fuck? Everybody, people that you wouldn't suspect. You know what I mean? It was absolutely everywhere, and I couldn't believe how widely available it was all over the place as well. I mean, sometimes I like go to a rave and I may pop a little fella or something like that. You know what I mean? Or get a little bag of Andy or something. But that's very rare. I go to raves nowadays anyway, once in a bloody blue moon. But with that one, it's absolutely everywhere. It's just shocking. It is, and that's a hard thing to get away from. When you go to the pub and just having a quick pint, you bump into those 2-3 lads. And then next minute, you know, some cunt's fucking pulling it out, and then it's like, bloody hell. I'm trying to keep away from that.
And 3 days later,
and so literally, I've stopped associating with certain people. I've stopped drinking in certain areas. The hotel where I got married, you know, it's just a hotel bar. It's just really, really nice people. It's an upmarket hotel in Nottingham. I'll go and have a pint or two there by myself in the evenings. Once I've had a mile-long swim, I'll have a couple of pints with an uncle or something, then just go straight home and get to bed. It's the best way.
Are you scared that it could potentially be like your dad and your granddad?
100%, yeah, I am very scared, yeah, because what keeps happening is I keep falling back into the trap where I'm knocking around with a certain person, or I'm not blaming it on them. Trust me, I'm the instigator of all matters when it comes to anybody in any circle in my life, 100%. It will be me that says, come on, let's go for it. But when you put me in front of the wrong person, then I keep doing it, and I don't want to keep repeating that fucking pattern. And so I'm trying to stop it now. You know what I mean? I'm doing well, but there've been flare-ups. But I think I need to just have a bit more of a bigger break from even having a pint or two, or even being in Nottingham for a longer while before it actually manufactures into something a lot more solid, and it's not even going to be in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've not bothered talking to anyone or anything like that about it. I come from that generation. You got something to sort out. You sort it out your fucking self. So I'm cracking on with it. But
it takes time, mate. Like I say, that's all we can do. So after the pub, what happened? What did you do then?
Yeah, so after the pub, then basically, you know, I got a little bit green fingered and got into a little bit of trouble with the police and stuff. And then, I was doing that for a little bit. There were still a couple of properties in Nottingham that I still owned that I put some money into. And then basically from there, you had like the English Defence League. And so the pub ended in 2008. That's when the English Defence League started. We started the English Defence League, hooked up with Tommy and Kev, started organising demonstrations all around the country, started doing media work and stuff like that in any way I could help. So yeah, we were all over the place. We were absolutely banging. It was completely a whole different life to me. It's for a matter that I believe very strongly in. You know what I mean? Me being a Sikh man, our gurus fought against Islam and militant Muslims for absolute centuries. They've tried to wipe us out over and over again. It was our people that brought down the Mughal Muslim Empire. So I already had instilled in me, and I knew the information from what my elders had told me before about the effect that Islam has had on Sikhism and our people in general post the gurus. So yeah, so I got straight involved in it and started cracking on with it. Once EDL did start a dying a death in 2011, Tommy decided to disband it. We were knocking it on the head. I left like a couple months beforehand. Then Tommy and Kev like kind of knocked it on the head 2011. There was a few factions of the very far right that we kicked out the English Defence League that decided to that had nothing to do with the English Defence League, and they decided to come back and take that banner over so they can push their narrative. So you just had a few idiots, few racists on the streets and stuff running around saying they're EDL, but they had nothing to do with it. And then when that kind of happened in 2011, I did a little bit of work in Spain with a friend of mine, and that kind of worked out quite well for us. But what basically happened on the back end of that is like it's a long story, and that's not enough time on your podcast. I don't think you want me going in too deep into that. But what happened into that was the whole prison sentence, which was 2013. So like in 2013, I received a sentence of 7.5 years for attempted armed robbery, extortion, demanding money with menace as assault. Some charges stuck, the others didn't. And then basically from that, I had a few issues with the way the proceedings of the court case was actually going at the time. So I didn't actually turn up to my sentence. That's quite out there. That's quite popular. I didn't actually turn up to my sentence. I tried to get through to my lawyer. I tried to have a chat with them. There was evidence popping up post. They have like a certain date that CPS can put all the evidence in. There was evidence popping up after that date, and there was evidence popping up that I was just like, that's impossible. It couldn't have been me at all. You can't tell me that my fingerprints on sticky side of duct tape, where I know for a fact there was no duct tape at that scene, 100%. And I'm the only one that's mentioned, and I'm not even supposed to be. I know what went down there, and I wasn't there. The victims that were in that situation, even said it wasn't Guramit Singh. But so how the fuck was how was my fingerprint supposed to be on the sticky side of a duct tape? Whoever picks up duct tape starts handling the sticky side of it. I don't even understand how that happens. And then all these other bits and bobs started coming up, so I decided not to turn up to the trial. And then, then I went on the run for a little bit, got on my toes for a little bit. That was probably the worst experience of my whole goddamn life. That's a horrible feeling, that is. I couldn't fucking sleep. I was down here just across the water in a hotel over there. When we drove down here today, in central London, I was like, bloody hell, that's a hotel I used to stay at. I haven't been there for a while, you know what I mean?
Bring back memories?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, I was there for about fucking 2 weeks. Cost me a fortune. Cost me a bomb. And the thing is, people